The industry is shaking tonight. Phones are blowing up, group chats are exploding, and Hollywood insiders are whispering in absolute terror because what Tamar Braxton just confessed is so dark, so twisted, and so deeply disturbing that even the most seasoned gossip hounds are saying they've never seen anything like this before. A revelation so dangerous, so scandalous, so violently disruptive to the Braxton family legacy that publicists are scrambling. NDAs are being pulled out of vaults, and certain very powerful people are reportedly threatening lawsuits if this story gets out. But it's too late. The bomb has already detonated. Because Tamar didn't just point fingers. She didn't just spill tea. She exposed a secret that has been buried for years. A secret involving emotional manipulation, coercion, betrayal, and a horrifying family power play, allegedly orchestrated by Evelyn Braxton herself. And according to Tamar's leaked audio, Evelyn didn't just sabotage relationships. She didn't just weaponize loyalty. She allegedly crossed a line so unthinkable that fans are questioning everything they ever believed about the Braxton matriarch. Tamar claims that Evelyn forced Towanda, yes, Towanda, into a situation with Michael Jr. that has the entire internet paralyzed. A shocking accusation suggesting control, pressure, and a twisted family agenda that no one saw coming. And the craziest part? Insiders say there are messages, recordings, and witnesses who've been terrified to speak, until now. If you think you've heard Braxton drama before, you haven't heard anything. This is the kind of revelation that destroys reputations, ends careers, and shatters families forever. Everything started unraveling the moment that mysterious voicemail began circulating in private Hollywood gossip circles. A voicemail so chilling, so emotionally shredded, that insiders said they had to step outside just to breathe after hearing it. Tamar's voice was trembling, frantic, almost unrecognizable, as she whispered that she could no longer carry this burden alone. And the burden she described, it wasn't the typical Braxton family chaos. This wasn't about petty arguments, sibling rivalry, or old wounds resurfacing. This was something darker. Something that made even seasoned gossip columnists go quiet. Something that Tamar said had been eating away at her soul for decades. She said Evelyn did something unforgivable, and it involved Towanda and Michael Jr. The moment the insiders heard that line, the world stopped. People replayed the audio like detectives combing through evidence, trying to understand how deep this went. But Tamar didn't stop there. She started recounting moments from their childhood, moments she said were edited out of the show, never allowed to be discussed, and dangerous if exposed. And then she dropped the line that made its way into the leaked transcription. She forced Towanda. She forced her. And nobody said a word. Instantly, Twitter ignited like gasoline. Fans were demanding answers. Bloggers were piecing together timelines. And anonymous accounts claiming to be close to the Braxton circle began posting cryptic messages like, "Some of us been new," and "Welp, receipts exist." Within hours, a viral thread appeared from an alleged former production assistant from Braxton Family Values. They claimed they overheard a tense confrontation between Tamar and Evelyn years ago, one that production was ordered to cut from the episode entirely. According to the thread, Tamar screamed, "You made her do it! You made Towanda go over there!" To which Evelyn reportedly responded, "Watch your mouth, you don't know everything." And production supposedly shut down for hours after that. The thread ended with, "Certain things weren't for TV." Not because they weren't dramatic, because they were too real. But the real explosion came when a supposed private group chat between Tony, Trina, Tamar, and Towanda leaked. The screenshot showed Towanda typing, "Please stop talking about that. You promised." Seconds later, Tamar allegedly replied, "I promised to protect you, not to protect her." And then the most heartbreaking message of all appeared from Towanda. "You don't understand what she held over me." The internet lost its collective mind. What did Evelyn hold over Towanda? What kind of pressure would force a grown woman into something involving Michael Jr.? And why had Tamar stayed silent all these years? Suddenly, old interviews resurfaced, clips fans had previously dismissed as harmless drama now carried a new, sinister undertone. Moments where Towanda went quiet whenever someone mentioned Michael Jr. Moments where Evelyn's face tightened whenever Tamar mentioned family secrets. And then the infamous scene resurfaced where Tamar shouted, "You let her go through that alone," which fans had always assumed was about Tracy. But what if it wasn't? Within hours, YouTubers began posting breakdowns, timelines, and speculative deep dives. One channel claimed to have exclusive leaked messages, including a DM from someone calling themselves Braxton Relative 87, who claimed Evelyn had been obsessed with controlling the narrative around Michael Sr.'s infidelity and used her children strategically to maintain power during the divorce. The DM said, "Towanda paid the highest price. People think Tamar suffered the most, not even close." Suddenly, old Braxton episodes started trending, with millions rewatching every micro-expression, every uncomfortable pause, every moment Evelyn seemed to shut Towanda down. And the more fans watched, the more they noticed it. Towanda always looking to Evelyn before speaking. Towanda always silencing herself mid-sentence. Towanda always carrying tension like a secret sitting on her chest. Insiders began whispering that Evelyn's obsession with controlling her daughters wasn't just about parenting, it was about using them as emotional leverage. One anonymous source claimed, "She used guilt like currency. You did what she wanted, or she made your life hell." Another insider added, "Towanda was always the peacekeeper. That made her the easiest to manipulate." Then came the alleged audio clip, short, grainy, clearly recorded years ago, but unmistakable. Evelyn's voice, sharp, commanding, cold, saying, "You need to do what's best for this family. Don't make me say it again." And a softer voice, almost certainly Towanda's, whispering, "I don't want to." Evelyn snapped back. "It's not about what you want. It's about loyalty." The clip sent shockwaves through social media. Reddit threads exploded. TikTok timelines became flooded with theories. And then a new claim surfaced that turned everything upside down. Michael Jr. had no idea Towanda never wanted to be involved. Someone claiming to be close to him said Michael Jr. believed everything was consensual, that he thought he was in a mutual situation, not one fueled by family pressure and emotional coercion. That revelation reignited the internet's outrage, with thousands demanding Michael Jr. speak publicly. But he stayed silent. Then a new leak dropped, this time from someone claiming to be a former friend of Tamar. They alleged Tamar had been holding this secret for years, and that Evelyn had repeatedly threatened to cut Tamar out of the family if she ever exposed it. They claimed Tamar finally broke because she felt like she was protecting everyone but herself. The friend allegedly added, "Tamar loved her sister too much to stay silent forever." Then, almost on cue, a shaky, grainy clip surfaced online allegedly filmed at a Braxton family gathering years ago. In the clip, you can hear Tamar shouting, "She didn't want to go. You know she didn't want to go." Evelyn fires back, "You need to stay in a child's place." Towanda can be seen standing behind them. Eyes swollen, mascara streaked, shaking her head in silent misery. The clip ends abruptly with Tamar storming out and Towanda collapsing into a chair as family members scramble around her. Fans began posting messages like, "We failed Towanda, Evelyn needs to be stopped," and "This is deeper than reality TV." The Braxton fandom split into factions, some still defending Evelyn, others calling her a manipulator who broke her daughters emotionally. Even celebrities started weighing in. A popular R&B singer tweeted, "Some of these old-school parents weren't strict, they were abusive." Another Hollywood actress posted, "Manipulation is not parenting." And then Tamar's final leaked message hit the internet. A voice recording where she said, "They can drag me, they can cancel me, but I won't let her rewrite history anymore. Towanda deserves freedom, and if I go down for telling the truth, so be it." With that one message, the foundation of the Braxton family myth cracked open. Fans waited, breath held, for Evelyn's response. But what happened next was even worse. Evelyn went silent, completely silent. Her social media locked, comments blocked, no statements, no live streams, no denials, which only made the rumors grow louder. But nothing prepared anyone for the moment someone claiming to be a former family therapist stepped forward with a statement that sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. And that statement? It changed everything. The moment that anonymous therapist's message hit the internet, everything spiraled into a new level of insanity. It wasn't even a full statement, just a cryptic paragraph posted to a private Facebook group for former reality TV mental health consultants. But like everything in Hollywood, secrets leak faster than apologies. Someone screenshotted it, someone else reposted it, and within minutes the entire world was dissecting every word like it was a coded confession. The therapist wrote, "There were sessions where certain family members expressed feeling pressured, coerced, and emotionally controlled. One sister repeatedly said, 'I didn't want to do it, but I didn't have a choice.' The mother had a strong influence on all of them. The message didn't name names, but it didn't have to. Everyone knew exactly who it referred to. This was the first time an alleged professional, someone who had seen the Braxtons behind the cameras, behind the glam, behind the rehearsed speeches, had hinted that Towanda had been forced into something she didn't consent to. And the mention of a mother's influence? It sent the internet straight into meltdown mode. Suddenly, every podcast, every gossip page, every messy YouTube commentator was scrambling to insert themselves into the chaos. People were analyzing Evelyn's tone, Towanda's body language, and Michael Jr.'s suspicious silence. One commentator posted a video titled, "Evelyn's Power Trips, 20 Years of Manipulation," dissecting every moment she cut her daughters off mid-sentence. Another posted an emotional breakdown video comparing the Braxtons to a cult family with sequins. But the real chaos erupted when a supposed former WeTV producer anonymously emailed several bloggers claiming that there was footage the public had never seen. Footage locked away in a vault. Footage that painted Evelyn in a terrifying light. The email claimed producers were ordered to destroy it, but someone might have made a copy. That line alone sent the conspiracy machine into overdrive. People started hunting for any ex-employee who might confirm the rumor. Reddit threads titled "The Lost Braxton Tapes" gained tens of thousands of comments within hours. Then came the Whistleblower TikTok, a frantic, fast-talking video from a woman claiming to have worked backstage during one of the Braxtons' promotional tours. She said she overheard Evelyn berating Towanda backstage after Towanda asked not to attend a family dinner with Michael Jr. In the video, the woman reenacts Evelyn's voice, imitating the sharp, cutting tone. "You will go. You will represent this family. Don't make me remind you what you owe me." She said Towanda looked terrified, not annoyed, not upset, but genuinely fearful. This TikTok instantly went viral, pulling in millions of views in a single afternoon. Fans flooded the comments with messages like, "Protect Towanda at all costs," and "This is emotional blackmail." Others began speculating what Evelyn might have held over her daughters. Old rumors resurfaced, whispers about finances, childhood secrets, promises made behind closed doors. The puzzle pieces didn't fit yet, but people were obsessed with trying to make them click. And then a mysterious Twitter account, with no followers and a freshly created profile, posted a chilling statement. It wasn't Towanda's idea. It never was. No context, no follow-up. The tweet vanished within minutes. Deleted by the user, but screenshots had already spread everywhere. The Braxton fanbase fractured again. Some defended Evelyn, claiming this was all taken out of context. Others said this proved everything Tamar had implied, and some simply begged Towanda to speak for herself. But she didn't. She said nothing, not a word. And her silence screamed louder than any confession. Then, in the middle of this firestorm, an unknown blog published what they claimed were leaked text messages between Tamar and an unnamed confidant. In the messages, Tamar allegedly typed, "I kept quiet because she told me Towanda would be blamed. She said the family would fall apart. She said we would be responsible if the truth came out." The confidant responded with, "That's manipulation." Tamar wrote back, "It's more than manipulation. It was blackmail." Whether real or fake, the messages spread like wildfire. Meanwhile, Evelyn's silence was turning into a political statement. Fans began noting that she had been online all week, liking random posts about cooking and church messages. But she ignored every tag, every accusation, every plea for explanation. It only made things worse. Her refusal to address the issue publicly read like guilt to some, like arrogance to others. Then came the most explosive leak so far, an alleged voice memo from Tamar herself, sent privately to a friend months before everything exploded. In the memo, Tamar's voice cracked as she said she used Towanda's loyalty against her. She knew Towanda would do anything to keep the peace. And she took advantage of that. She forced her into that situation with Michael Jr., and she swore all of us to secrecy. The internet imploded. Hashtags like Number Save Towanda, Number Braxton Truth, and Number Evelyn Exposed shot to the top of social media trends. Journalists started digging. Former cast members began liking shady posts. Even Wendy Williams' old clips resurfaced moments where she hinted that the Braxton family had secrets deeper than the ocean. But nothing, absolutely nothing shook the internet harder than the sudden Instagram live that appeared out of nowhere. Towanda. Shaky camera, puffy eyes, a trembling lip. Thousands joined the live instantly, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, as the world braced for impact. She took a deep breath, opened her mouth, and said, "I'm only going to say this once." Chat flooded the screen so fast it almost crashed the app. Towanda continued, voice cracking. "There are things that happened in this family that nobody was supposed to talk about." She paused, swallowing hard. "But I need you all to understand something." Suddenly, a loud knocking sound echoed through the room. Towanda froze, eyes darting to the side. "Hold on," she whispered. She got up, walked off camera, and all viewers could hear was muffled arguing a woman's voice, older, louder, furious, shouting something impossible to make out. People in the comments swore it sounded like Evelyn. Others said it couldn't be, that it must have been someone else. But then the yelling grew clearer. "Turn that off, right now." The phone abruptly tipped over, camera facing the ceiling. The live continued for a few seconds as footsteps thudded, voices clashed, and then the screen suddenly went black. Live ended. The internet exploded into hysteria. No one knew what happened. No one knew who was yelling. No one knew whether Towanda was okay. Conspiracy videos flooded YouTube. Comments like, "This feels sinister," and "Somebody stop that woman," skyrocketed. But the most terrifying part came 15 minutes later, when Towanda posted a single message to her Instagram story. Just one line. "I'm safe. For now." And under it, in tiny letters, "Don't let them silence the truth." Theories erupted. Some claimed Evelyn had confronted her. Others said a family member had intervened. Some believed this was part of an even bigger cover-up, but for those who thought the story couldn't get darker, the next leak proved them wrong. Because someone on the inside was about to drop the final piece of the puzzle, and it was worse than anyone ever imagined. The final blow didn't come from Tamar, Towanda, or even Evelyn. It came from someone nobody expected, someone who had never spoken publicly, never appeared on the show, never hinted at knowing anything. The leak came from inside the Braxton family circle, but one layer deeper, a cousin, a quiet one, a background figure whose name had never been tossed around in the public scandals. But when her anonymous blog post dropped, the internet collectively lost consciousness. She wrote, "I stayed silent because I thought it wasn't my place. But the truth is bigger than all of us. Evelyn didn't just push Towanda into that situation, she orchestrated it. She set the entire thing up. And I was there. I saw everything." Within minutes, the post spread like wildfire across Reddit, Twitter, and Instagram. The cousin claimed that during the height of Evelyn's bitterness with Michael Sr., around the same time she was lashing out, spiraling emotionally, and weaponizing her daughter's loyalty, she fixated on proving a point. She wanted to show Michael Sr. that his side of the family was weak, disloyal, and messy. And according to the cousin, Evelyn decided Towanda would be the pawn to send a message. The cousin described a night at a family gathering, one that fans had never heard about. Evelyn had allegedly pulled Towanda aside, telling her she needed to test something, that she needed to prove where her loyalty truly stood. Towanda was confused, hesitant, nervous, but Evelyn allegedly kept insisting, telling her that the family depended on her doing this, that Michael Jr. needed to be put in his place, and that this was the only way to keep the peace. The cousin wrote that Towanda kept saying, "I don't want to," but Evelyn wouldn't let up, and eventually, Towanda stopped fighting. She walked toward Michael Jr.'s room with tears streaming down her face, not because she wanted him, not because there was anything romantic or consensual about the situation, but because Evelyn had crafted the scenario and made Towanda feel she had no choice. The cousin claimed that she tried to intervene, that she whispered to Evelyn, "Let her go. This is wrong," and Evelyn allegedly snapped back, "Stay out of it. You don't know what he put me through." When the cousin tried again, telling Towanda she didn't have to do this, Evelyn allegedly stepped in between them, physically blocking her path, saying, "If she doesn't go, this family falls apart. Do you want that on your conscience?" Those words, "on your conscience," burned across every social media platform as people screenshotted and reposted that line millions of times. It became a symbol of the emotional chokehold Evelyn allegedly had on her daughters. But the cousin didn't stop there. She claimed that after the incident, Evelyn forced everyone who witnessed any part of it to swear secrecy. According to the blog, she said, "If this gets out, we all go down. Don't you dare ruin this family." The cousin said Towanda was inconsolable afterward, shaking, sobbing, begging Evelyn not to make her face Michael Jr. again. But Evelyn allegedly coldly responded, "You did what needed to be done." The cousin wrote, "She weaponized guilt, she weaponized trauma, and Towanda carried the shame alone." The internet was in flames. Major news outlets started reporting on the allegations. Lawyers began weighing in on whether the silence during the show's filming constituted some kind of legal violation. Fans flooded Twitter spaces demanding justice. Even celebrities who had worked with the Braxtons began posting cryptic comments like, "I always knew something was off," and "Some mothers cause more harm than good." But then everything took a horrifying turn. A new voice memo leaked, a private message sent from Towanda to Tamar months before all the recent chaos. In the memo, Towanda said, "I can't keep pretending. Every time I see her face, I remember what she made me do, and she still acts like I owe her, like she saved me. I can't carry it anymore, Tay. I'm breaking." Her voice cracked with so much pain that fans said hearing it felt like being stabbed. Tamar responded in the recording, "We can't let her keep playing God." And Towanda whispered, "She still controls everything." Those 4 words, "she still controls everything," went global. But then came the moment that sent the entire internet past the point of speculation. A leaked email from a former WeTV legal assistant. The email, dated years ago, was a memo describing a situation involving Towanda and another family member that the network was instructed to avoid referencing under any circumstances. The memo instructed producers to divert conversations, edit around sensitive triggers, and avoid any storyline that implicates Evelyn's influence over Towanda's decisions involving Michael Jr. When the memo leaked, WeTV went into full panic mode. Corporate accounts began posting vague disclaimers, and producers suddenly locked their pages. Fans started demanding answers. Deep dive investigators began comparing episodes, spotting strange cuts, awkward edits, and moments where Towanda looked seconds away from crying but the scene abruptly shifted. But nothing compared to the final leak, a recording so explosive that the entire internet froze. This one didn't come from Tamar. It didn't come from fans. It didn't even come from the cousin. It came from Michael Jr. The audio was only 17 seconds long. 17 horrifying, world-shattering seconds that flipped the narrative upside down. In the recording, Michael Jr. sounded shaken, voice trembling as he said, I didn't know she didn't want to. I didn't know your mom made her. I swear I didn't know." A soft sob came from the background, presumably Tamar or Towanda. Michael Jr. continued, If I had known, I never would have touched her, ever. She needs help. Your mom needs help. The recording ended abruptly, but the damage was irreversible. The internet dissolved into chaos. Some people argued Michael Jr.'s clip proved he was innocent, manipulated by Evelyn, just like Towanda. Others demanded he face consequences anyway. Some fans insisted Evelyn orchestrated everything for revenge, desperation, or emotional control. Others theorized this was part of a bigger pattern of family dysfunction spanning decades. But then everything went nuclear. Because Evelyn's silent for weeks finally posted on Instagram. A single black screen, white text, 8 words. You have no idea what really happened. Comments exploded. Millions flooded her page. Everyone waited for an explanation, a confession, a denial, anything. But then, before the world could catch its breath, Towanda posted her own message moments later. If she tells her story, I'll tell mine. And fans realized with spine-chilling clarity that the truth wasn't out yet. The real story was still buried, still boiling, still waiting to detonate. And the final explosion? It hadn't even begun. If you're still here, if you're still breathing after everything we just uncovered, then you already know this story is far from over. What you just heard is only the beginning of a truth that has been buried, silenced, twisted, and protected for decades. And if we don't keep the pressure on, if we don't keep the world watching, the people who have spent years controlling this narrative will slam every door shut and bury this deeper than ever. So listen closely, because this part is important. If you don't hit that like button right now, if you don't comment, if you don't subscribe, this story dies. The algorithm buries it, the conversation fades, and the people who fought to speak Tamar, Towanda, and everyone who risked everything to leak the truth gets swallowed up by silence once again. You cannot let that happen. Not now. Not after everything we've uncovered. Your like tells the world you're not afraid of the truth. Your comment forces this story into the spotlight where it belongs. Your subscription keeps you locked in for every new leak, every new expose, every new piece of evidence that the powerful are trying to hide. This isn't just tea, this is a movement. And you're part of it now. So don't just watch, don't just lurk. Stand up, speak up, hit the buttons that keep this truth alive. Because the next chapter is coming, and you do not want to be the one who misses it.